لن يؤمن من قومك إلا من قد آمن فلا تبتئس بما كانوا يفعلون واصنع الفلك بأعيننا ووحينا ولا تخاطبني في الذين ظلموا إنهم مغرقون ويصنع الفلك وكلما مر عليه ملأ من قومه سخروا منه قال إن تسخروا منا فإنا نسخر منكم كما تسخرون فسوف تعلمون من يأتيه عذاب يخزيه ويحل عليه عذاب مقيم حتى إذا جاء أمرنا وفارت النور قل نحمل فيها من كل زوجين اثنين وأهلك إلا من سبق عليه القول وما آمن معه إلا قليل وقال اركبوا فيها بسم الله مجريها ومرساها إن ربي لغفور رحيم
وهي تجري بهم في موج كالجبال ونادى نوح ابنه وكان في معزل يا بني اركب معنا ولا تكن مع الكافرين قال سآوي إلى جبل يعصمني من الماء قال لا عاصم اليوم من أمر الله إلا من رحم وحال بينهما الموج فكان من المغرقين وقيل يا أرض ابلعي ماءك ويا سماء أقلعي وغيض الماء وقضي الأمر واستوت على الجود وقيل بعدا للقوم الظالمين ونادى نوح ربه فقال رب إن ابني من أهلي وإن وعدك الحق وأنت أحكم الحاكمين قال يا نوح إنه ليس من أهلك إنه عمل غير صالح فلا تسألني ما ليس لك به علم إني أعظك أن تكون من الجاهلين قال رب إني أعوذ بك أن أسألك ما ليس لي به علم وإلا تغفر لي وترحمني أكن من الخاسرين قيل يا نوح اهبط بسلام منا وبركات عليك وعلى ممن معك وأمم سنمتعهم ثم يمسهم منا عذاب أليم تلك من أنباء الغيب نوحيها إليك ما كنت تعلمها أنت ولا قومك من قبل هذا فاصبر إن العاقبة للمتقين صدق الله.
جزاك الله خيرا. Isn't it beautiful to listen to the Quran? It's a little bit long, but you know, it's barakah, always barakah, and a blessing to hear to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala firsthand. Umar, if I may ask you to move this way or move the chair, we just need to keep the door open. Also, sisters, please come here. Those chairs are for you. I need you to participate with us. So please feel comfortable to come here. All of these chairs are for you. All the sisters, please, unless you really don't, feel comfortable to be here. So please come. This is for you. Brothers also feel comfortable to we're here to enjoy ourselves and relax and everything. I'm doing it in purpose. I don't want to make it look like a lecture and Shaykh is speaking. No, more of a casual thing. So if you feel comfortable there, fine. If not, please, the chairs are here. So we continue with the stories of the prophets. First of all, it's going to be a few minutes with the stories of the prophets, and then we're going to have a break. We got some tea and drinks feel free, inshallah, to participate with us from next week. If you want to bring a drink or something, or light snack or something, that's okay. Then, inshallah, the next segment is going to be a presentation with Dr. Kinawi, Jazakallah khair. We started the story of the prophets, or the stories of the prophets from the beginning, from the time of Adam, actually before Allah Azza wa Jalla created Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, and what happened in there. And the main reason we are mentioning the stories is لَقَدْ كَانَ فِي قَصَصِهِمْ عِبْرَةٌ. We are trying to draw the lessons, the ibrah, or what do we learn from those stories. That's the most important thing. Please feel free at any point to stop me. We are trying to understand the Quran together, to reflect the baru ayati, and to get the lessons. We got the lessons from the story of Sayyidina Adam as much as we can, and we moved on to what happened between the first family. One of the males killed the other male. He didn't like. We talked in detail about what happened, and from the time of Adam alayhi salam, who inherited Sayyidina Adam as far as prophethood? Who of his children that became a prophet after him? And يعني عهد إليه سيدنا Adam, he was literally the one who inherited his father, and he was a prophet. What's his name? Sheath. Prophet Sheath. He's not mentioned in the Quran yet, he's mentioned in the Sunnah, and he was the one who inherited Sayyidina Adam and led the humanity at this time. Adam alayhi salam lived for so long. How long? 1,000 years. Many of the narrations we mentioned here, as far as riwayat al-tariq, the historical narrations are not like hadith or aqidah. We just mention them and we learn from them because they are mentioned already in kutub al-tariq, the books of history. So he lived for 1,000 years, and you can imagine he has seen a lot of his generation and next generation, and up to the 4th or 5th of his generation or more, he was there. After Sheath came Sayyidina Idris alayhi salam, or Enoch, according to his name in English in the Bible. Prophet Idris alayhi salam, just a little bit is mentioned about him in the Quran. One of the facts that are mentioned about Sayyidina Idris alayhi salam, pay attention to me, is Allah said, وَرَفَعْنَاهُ مَكَانًا عَلِيًّا. This is a quick revision, we talked about all of that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevated him a high status. What was this referring to? We talked about this when we were in the bonfire this week. What is it? Makan al-Ali, or the high place, high status, elevated status that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put him. Where?
Firdaus.
Not in the Firdaus. He is in Jannah, inshallah, like all the prophets, but that refers to a specific thing. Where, when the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam went to the ascension, Rihlat al-Mi'raj, he met with many prophets according to the authentic hadith in the different skies. And he met with Sayyidina Yunus alayhi salam, which sama? The first was Adam alayhi salam, the first sky. He met with Sayyidina Idris in the 4th sky, في السماء الرابعة. He was there in the Sama, notes a lot of things. He was a prophet, he was the leader of the generation in his time, and he was the inheritor of the nubuwwah or prophethood from the children of Adam alayhi salam after Sheath. Then came Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam. Sayyidina Nuh was the 10th generation of Adam alayhi salam. Like his the 10th great-grandfather is Adam alayhi salam. And he came في الأحاديث الصحيحة كان in some hadith, but between Sayyidina Nuh and Adam 10 قرون, 10 قرون. What does qarn refer to? The historians and the mufassirun talk about it a lot. Does it refer to the qarn, the century, as we know it, 100 years? But most of the mufassirun, according to the Quran, it refers to the generation. Like Nuh alayhi salam and his generation, the people of his age, this is qarn. And then his father and his generation, this is another qarn. وَقُرُونٌ بَيْنَ ذَلِكَ كَثِيرًا. So many ayat referring to that. So Nuh alayhi salam was the 10th grandson of Adam alayhi salam, and he was the first of messengers. There is a technical difference between a prophet and a messenger. A prophet is what? Is Nabi. A prophet is from prophecy. He is what? He is receiving the prophecy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is not technically ordered to lead people or to tell people or to give them instruction. He just received the prophecy and he is guided for everybody around him, but he is not required to. He does not have specific requirements. This is what you go. He does not have a book. He does not bring them a scripture to tell them. A prophet is usually somebody who comes to confirm the mission before him. Like the Prophet Yunus confirmed the mission of Adam alayhi salam. He did not bring anything new. Prophets of Bani Israel, the Israelites, they were mostly coming to confirm the same mission of prophets before them. But Rusul, the messengers, they usually bring some, some differences. They have a scripture, they are requested or ordered to go and give the message to people. So Nuh alayhi salam, he was the first of the messengers, and this is clear from a hadith. At the Day of Judgment, people when they are trying to reach out to somebody that he can go and intercede with Allah, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will start the hisab. Imagine, think about it. Me and you and everybody from the time of Adam alayhi salam up until the Day of Judgment, Allah will bring us for hisab. Yawm al-Qiyamah, we will stand up. Yawm yaqumu an-nasu li rabbil alameen. What are you talking about? We believe in Him, we know it. But let's really think of it with our hearts. Allah will question us, will bring us all. And then at a certain time, nothing is happening. People are waiting and waiting and waiting for years, and it's so difficult and it's so hard, and the sun is so close from the head of the people, and they are sweating. All of that is mentioned in the hadith. Now they are trying to find somebody who can help them, who could be closer to Allah, that can go and talk to the God, so he can start the hisab. He can start the judgment. And then they will reach out to Adam alayhi salam. All the prophets, they will apologize until they come to Sayyidina Muhammad, the last prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he will do the job. But in this hadith, as they were reaching out to Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam, they said, you are the first, you are the first of the messengers to be sent. You are this and that. So, سَمَّاكَ اللَّهُ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا. Allah told you in the Quran, as Allah told us in the Quran, you are a grateful servant of Allah. Would you please go and, ask Allah to do it? He would apologize. So the point is, he was the first of the messengers. And this has a story, as we recited in Surah Al-Isha, in Salat Al-Isha, Surah Nuh alayhi salam. There is a surah, a full surah by the name of Nuh alayhi salam, as we all know. And Allah mentioned nothing in it but the story of Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam, right? So in this surah, in the time of Nuh alayhi salam, it was the first time ever that a new sin was introduced. What was this sin?
Idol worshiping.
Idol worshiping, ibadatul asnam. In the time of Adam alayhi salam, what happened is that he slipped, he forgot, he ate from the tree, just forgot, and he repented. Between Adam alayhi salam up to Sayyidina Nuh, they were all Muslims until something like worship Allah as they're supposed to, according to the way of Adam, their grandfather. Imagine it's the beginning of humanity, not much lying is in there, not much stuff is in there, but they started inventing this new sin. How did it start? We all know the hadith. It started as some respectable people, some people that they respect, by the names of, what are the names of those people that later on they would worship them? They would make idols and statues and worship them. They were very good people amongst them. They were names: Waddan, Suwa'an, Yahuth, Ya'uq, Nasra. 5 of them. Those were the names of those righteous, good people. And they were so good and righteous, so much so that when they passed away, people were so sad. And they were missing them. And that is the case when you have a leader or a good person that was doing a lot of goodness, and then they leave this life. So Shaitan started doing his job. He said, yeah, why don't you make probably some images of those people, and then they would just remind you of those people, and that will make you worship Allah, worship God better, and everything. They started doing it. Then a generation or two later, they started forgetting the story of who are these people. They were just focusing on those images, icons, right? They said, why don't we take it a step further and we make statues, idols. You're not going to say idols, just statues of those. They made it. Generation after generation, they came to the time came that they did what? They were literally worshiping them, asking of them. Because they forgot the previous generation, they forgot how did it start. They started asking of them. And that reminds us of something in the Quran. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ. Do not follow the footsteps of Shaitan. What are the footsteps of Shaitan? Shaitan is not going to come to a good person, a Muslim, or somebody who's good, or somebody who's, and tell him, go do the opposite. Don't go to the masjid, let's go to the this and that place, bad places. He's not going to do that. He has a strategy. You know, if we work like Shaitan, as far as the strategy, the tactic, if Muslims work like him, he's so patient, by the way. فَدَلَّهُمَا, you remember the story? We learned that story from the Adam alayhi salam, and Allah said, فَدَلَّهُمَا بِغُرُورٍ. What does it mean? He kept, sneaking to them, telling them, should you eat from the tree? Maybe, if you eat from it, you're going to be angels, you're going to live forever. So, and that is the same strategy and tactic he's using with me and you and everybody. What is the strategy? Sneaking in. He's going to tell you, no, do not come to the mess, do not pray. No, maybe, you're coming tired from work. Just a little bit. Get some rest and you pray later. You delay the prayer. Just an example. And then, you still have some time until the next prayer. Keep delaying, keep doing that, and then maybe you skip the salah, and then you stop. This is how it all starts. Everything, all the sayyat. Does not come like khutuwat al-shaytan. So that's what happened with the people until they ended up worshiping them. Nuh alayhi salam came, and he mentioned, as Allah said in the Quran, he said, do not worship them. Those are just idols, they are not gods. Allah is the only one true God. He mentioned all. They did not listen to him. They actually made fun of him. And he kept calling them for how long? Even against girls. How long did Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam stay with his people?
900.
990? Close, very close.
Yeah,
900 something. What is this something? 99.9. 900 what? Anybody will give it a try? 57? Minus 7. It's going to be 950. It's mentioned in the Quran. فَلَبِثَ فِيهِمْ أَلْفَ سَنَةٍ إِلَّا 50 عَامًا. And he spent with them, calling on them for 1,000 years minus 50, which is? 950. 950 years? Are you kidding me? Yes, that's what happened. No, I'm not kidding. That's what happened. Sayyidina Nuh alayhi, think about it again. We all know, but think about it. So if it is, just to give you a perspective of it, if Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam was with us and this is the last year, so we would have been here from what year? We go back 950 years, make the math. Go back 950 years. From 2016, let's make it easy, 2000, let's imagine we are in 2000 now. Let's get back 1,000 years, or 950 years. That's going to be what? Salahuddin time? Medieval time? That's going to be like 1,000, year 1050. Anybody knows anything about history, what was happening at this time? Is it the time of Salahuddin? 1,000? So from that time, you're talking about before America was even discovered, or before many nations began, that was the time of Nuh. Nuh alayhi salam is still alive. Layla qala rabbi inni da'awtu qawmi laylan wa nahara, day and night. Night and day he's calling his people. Da'wah. We have brothers visiting us, Da'wah Jama'at al-Tabligh, mashallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them the hasanat, the scale of the hasanat. So that was the mission of the prophets. Day and night calling in his people. And then at the end, guess what? وَمَا آمَنَ مَعَهُ إِلَّا 950 years, day and night, calling in them. Beautiful maw'idah and da'wah, but only those who believe with him, just a few people. It does not matter as far as the results. Yes, this is another lesson. Please again, participate. We have, mashallah, great minds and great people with us here. He worked so hard, and he did it. There was nothing wrong in his work. Nabi, mulham, guided by Allah. But then just a few people, that accomplishment in terms of numbers, not many. Even some of his family members, his wife and his son, they did not accept. What do we learn from that? I'm turning the question to you. What do we learn from it?
Don't give up.
So what matters? What does matter? Do your job. What does matter is do your job. What you know is right. That does not mean you have to be stubborn and just keep doing the same. Sometimes we do it. We keep doing the same thing that gives us the same. As long nobody can be sure of where he is, like Sayyidina Nuh, like a prophet. He knew that he was on the right track. So let's verify. Am I doing the right thing? And then if you're sure you're doing the right thing, go ahead. Tawakkal ala Allah. And it doesn't really matter how many or the accomplishments. I'm not saying it doesn't matter in the sense of ignoring and no, but as long as you're doing the right thing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alayhi, and He has everything is in His hand. This is another lesson that we learned. Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam kept calling and then some of his family members, like his wife. She was going to the other people and every time somebody accepted faith, telling them, you know what, such and such accepted faith. This is the khiyana or the betrayal. فَخَانَتَاهُمَا. It was not khiyana, it doesn't have anything with the honor. As Allah said in the Quran, the wife of Noah, wife of Prophet Noah, and the wife of who else? Lut. They betrayed them. It was not no wife of any prophet betrayed them in the sense of having a relation with somebody else, because Allah purified the honor and the lineage and the honor of prophets from that. But it was khiyanat al-deen. They did not, follow them, and rather she was instead. Nobody knows their husband better than the wife, or the wife better than the husband. They get so close to each other. So she knew him. She knew everything. She knew everything about him. But she's hidayah min Allah. Guidance is from Allah. She did not accept it. He did not force her. All he can do is just hold her. His son, the same thing. One of his children. All of his children accepted Islam with him and everything, except for one. He does not want to do it. Again, do your work. But do your work. He did his work with his people and his children. That could help us another lesson as far as our children. What we have to do is do our best with them. Do our best with them. And then hidayah min Allah. Guidance is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the child of Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam. And it did not benefit him. What ended up happening is, after all of that time, Allah, he was a carpenter. Sayyidina Nuh was najjar, So Allah ordered him to build a ship, وَصْنَعِ الْفُلْكِ, to build the ark. He got the wood and everything, and it took him years, you can imagine, for one person or a few people to make an ark that will be the survival or the rescue boat for humanity. He will take animals, he will take people, he will take everything with him. It took them so long, and every time the other people are passing by him, سَخِرُوا مِنْهُ. You're making fun of him. We're in the desert, what are you doing? Imagine somebody's... But subhanAllah, let's live it, visualize it right now. Many times we make fun of one another, based on anything. Oh, he looks different than me, he thinks different than me, he is this, she is that. Allah said, do not make fun of one another. عَسَىٰ أَنْ يَكُونُوا خَيْرًا مِنْهُمْ. You never know, maybe the one that you're making fun of is better than you. That was the case. They are making fun of Sayyidina Nuh and the people with him, making a ship or an ark in the middle of the desert. Whatever. But that was, they were the smart people. They told him, time will come that you will know, right, who is wrong, and we will make fun of you too. Time will come that we will make fun of you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when the time came, Allah ordered him, right before the flood, He ordered him أن يأخذ من كل زوجين اثنين, pairs of everything. Take pair of literally everything with you. Elephants, lions, birds, animals, and then the believers. وَمَا آمَنَ, the few people who believed with him. Think about it. Did you watch the movie? I'm not calling for anything. It was a movie. But, it gives you an idea. So, everything was coming. And how did it happen? Lions and animals and elephants? What are you talking about? That's what happened. Everything is under the control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The lion is not going to attack people or other animals. They follow the orders of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So they all came to the ark. Think about it and see. You see the lions, a couple of pairs of lions right getting in right now. A big pair of elephants, humans, birds, everything. They were there. They built it. They made sure everything in there until حَتَّى إِذَا جَاءَ أَمْرُنَا. Everything is by amr, command from Allah. Many times we hasten. When is the amr of Allah is going to come? Then I'm going to get married, or I'm going to get this degree, or I'm going to get this, do this, achieve that, attain that. Allah knows when it's going to come. We work and we do our best, like Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam. Just keep doing what you're supposed to do, and when the amr of Allah comes, it will happen. That will help us a lot in the middle of what's happening for Muslims everywhere. The amr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not come, and it's clear simply because we do not deserve to be there yet. We do not do anything. We did not do our job yet. We did not do what we're supposed to do, getting together and stuff. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us victory. May Allah give us victory, inshallah. May He first get us to work together, inshallah, and do what we're supposed to do. Amr of Allah came, وَفَارَ التَّنْمُورِ, which is literally earth, turns into عيوننا, the springs, everywhere is springs. And then the sky, ماء منهمر, water pouring in abundance. And then the ship, everybody's in the ship, the other people are out there, and you can imagine, it's not like just random rain, it's literally everything become underwater. Gradually. The son of Noah alayhi salam, know from the story what happened? His father is calling him. Ya bunay, irkab ma'ana. Oh my son, join us, come, get aboard. What did he say? He said, I'm going to go to one of these mountains. You see, now it never happens before. I'm going to get to a mountain. Yeah. Get on with him, and then later on worship whatever you want to worship. But subhanAllah, tawfiq min Allah. If Allah gives you tawfiq and guidance, you are guided. If guidance is not given to you, you do like Abu Lahab. Abu Lahab is there with the Prophet ﷺ, and you watch him from day when he was so happy, and then he insisted to, resist until the end, or Abu Jahl. Or the son of Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam, this son, who said, no, I'm going to go to this tallest mountain. And then water keeps going on and on until everybody drowned, except for the believers and Sayyidina Nuh. And it's going to be a new beginning of history, a new beginning of humanity after the flood. And that story is not only believed in by Muslims. Muslims in the Bible, so many other faiths that they believe in the flood, before the flood and after the flood. Everybody after Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam came from his lineage. وَجَعَلْنَا ذُرِّيَّتَهُ هُمُ الْبَاقِينَ. Everybody after Sayyidina Nuh came from him, and all prophets came from him. Actually, all humanity came from him. The other people, it was not known that they had children, or, they came up to an end. What else do we learn from the story of Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam? We all know the other details, unless you have skipped anything and you need to do. What else that we can take as a lesson from the story of Sayyidina Nuh that's mentioned in so many places and areas in the Quran? Sometimes one surah, one entire surah is talking about it in one place. It's mentioned in Surah Hud, Brother Luqman recited it for us. Mentioned elsewhere. So what else do we learn and reflect and take from the story of Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam?
All related, actually.
We're all related. From Adam alayhi salam, and then after Nuh alayhi salam. We all go back to the same. Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam, from him came 3 or 4 children who were believers. From one side, according to some not very authentic narration, came the different kinds. From one of the children came al-Habash, those who have a darker skin. From one son came the Romans, or those who have a Caucasian skin, and from one of the children came the Persians, the Arabs, and other. Some historians talk about this, but from him, literally from him, came everybody, and we are all literally one family. Whether it is Sayyidina Nuh or Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, we are all one family, not just one race, one family. What else do we learn? ما هي العبرة? Sisters, brothers. Patience. Even if you have to be patient for 950 years, be patient. It doesn't hurt. Actually, إنما يوفى الصابرون أجرهم بغير حساب. You get your reward. Nuh alayhi salam accomplished his mission and everything, even though just a few people accepted Islam. Never lost hope.
Wisdom in taking care of endangered species.
I was thinking about this very thing, wallahi, subhanAllah. Who watched the video of, just within the last century, I think it's from 1930 or something, up until now, so many species of animals just disappeared, got extinct because of us, because of the plastic and pollution and so many things that we. So let's think, why? This is a good story, a good lesson. Why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He could have rescued animals in a different way. Maybe get all of them into an island somewhere. It doesn't have to be with the ark that the Prophet made. It's probably going to rescue. It's going to be a heavy load on it. But they have to get with humans. That's actually the unity of our creation as well. Like, they worship Allah as well. They have to be rescued. They didn't have anything, to be punished. So we have to feel Muslims, true people, the people who truly submit to Allah, they wouldn't hurt an animal, let alone a human being, because they believe this is the creation of Allah. They believe that if they do good to animals, as we mentioned in one khutbah, Allah will do them good. وَفِي كُلِّ ذَاتِ كَبِدٍ رَطِبَةٍ أَجْرٍ. In everything that's alive and moving, you will get a reward. SubhanAllah. We learned this from the story of Adam. Why did he take all the animals to the ark? Other lessons? I'm pretty much sure there are so many other lessons. What do we learn? Girls. Can you think of any other lessons? What do we learn from the flood, the story of Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam? Another lesson, Allah can change the rules of humanity, how things work, and give you literally a miracle. Just do your job and do what you're supposed to do and keep working really hard, and if things did not work as planned, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with you. He's going to make things work your way. Like what happened to Sayyidina Nuh. Don't wait for another flood to come or anything, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give you what you're looking at against all the rules, as long as you're following the right track.
To add to this point, the rain, why the rain did not fill the boat? The boat should drown, actually.
They were covering it.
No, this is the singular, little tiny miracle. يعني المية ما بتجيش على المركب.
Yeah, if it's a lot of rain, why the ark was not full of water? It's not going to drown because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it as a miracle to rescue them. But in some narrations, he was ordered also to cover it. He had a big cover. And then we have so many narrations when people, they were there, according to some narrations, for 150 days. 150 days of work. And they were completely covered because it was raining so bad. So when they came out, some narrations mentioned that they had issues in their eyes because they were so dark for so long, and then they came out all of a sudden. But the point is, and we learned this from the story of the Prophet and other prophets, even though Allah is giving them miracles, but you see them always working hard to the very deep details of an asbab. Think in all the causes. So probably he had this canvas or something, he covered it, but above all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it to be a miracle. But anything else before we conclude?
Follow the order of Allah without knowing the wisdom. Allah ordered Noah to build the ship in the middle of the desert.
Why?
Follow the order.
Yes, and they did not know by then. Why should we build it? Very important thing and very tricky also. I said it here many times. I'm going to repeat it here. If you follow the authentic, pay attention to the words, authentic orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, only when they make sense to you, you are not submitting to Allah, you are submitting to your sins. You don't worship Allah, you worship your mind. Because if it is, I just do what makes sense to me as, again, authentic. What makes sense to me, then I'm not really. If it doesn't make sense to me, even though it's authentic, I don't worship, I don't take it, then you don't worship Allah. You don't submit. You take things by your mind. Are you saying, Sheikh, that there is something wrong in the thing? No, we are ordered to use our minds. But as humans, we have to admit that we are limited. And sometimes we have to just prove that we are Muslims, submit. Why do we have to stand up and do ruku and sujood and go to this desert city, Mecca, make hajj? Why do we have to go here? Why it doesn't have? So many things in our Islam, we have to show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are Muslims, that we submit. Why should we do the ark in here? Allah was not known. Until Allah later on told him that's what's going to happen. And he even told him, وَلَا تُخَاطِبْنِي فِي الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا. It's case closed. They are going to be punished. Do not talk to me again. If ever, it comes to you that, God, can you give them mercy? He said, that's it. Enough, inshallah? Yes, last lesson for more. Why did Allah, good question, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want to live for like 1,000 years or something? I'm just thinking how you would look like if you live 1,000 years, right? So, as far as the time, how long will I live or somebody live, or why somebody dies at the age of 20, 23, or somebody lives to be 90, or why, just along the same line, your question, why would she get more and I get this? Why he has more money, I have this money, why he has more knowledge about me less? All of that is from Qadarullah Ta'ala. This Qadar, destiny of Allah. That is the business of God. The business of God. He made people, live so long at this time. But I tell you something. For you, just trying to think or trying to imagine, for you to get food right now, you are at home, you want to eat. What do? What is it? Buy the food, you can order things. The other day we had a cab, you order the pizza, it came all the way to us, right? Or you open the fridge, or your mom's cooking something nice, it is there. So see, it is so easy to access the food, right? You can get it. Imagine you live at the time of Sayyidina Adam and you want to eat. What do you want to do? You have to go probably, if you're going to do pizza, yeah, you have to find the wheat. We're going to get it. And then grind it, and then they didn't have pizza. This is, I know for sure. But they had other things. But anyway, you see my point? He had to spend so long. Maybe this, I'm not saying this is the wisdom. You can probably help me answer this. Usually kids ask much harder questions for Imam to answer than elders. It takes them so long to do things. So long to move from place to place. They were probably dealing with dinosaurs. We can argue about this. They were dealing with other things. Dinosaurs were distinct before humans. We know that. They were dealing with so many hardships. What you can do in no time right now, it takes them years. Maybe that's why. But what we know for sure is this is Qadarullah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destined them to live for 950 or 1,000 or more. And then the Prophet told us, the humans are like decreasing in terms of how tall they are, in terms of how they live as well. But what really matters, what we learn from the Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam story, is how the quality of our life. What is the quality? Do your best, whether you live 10 years or 50 or 100, doesn't really matter. You might live for 900 years and achieve just a little bit. You might live, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was a prophet for only 23 years, from the age of 40 to the age of 63, but see, mashallah, big achievement. This is the way from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That probably will answer your question. Did it? Now, inshallah,